Okay, hey guys, it's your boy here, Dark Raikou here with What If Issei was Ichigo's Kurosaki's cousin. Now, let me begin to say this before I continue this on. This was supposed to be the 400 special. It's just the problem is when I was doing this what if, or mostly doing the 400 special, I instead decided to kind of change it up and actually do the Zenkichi one, because mostly the Zenkichi one was actually supposed to be the 100 special, but I changed it up because I didn't really know if I should do it or not, but yeah. So you can see that it's all over the fucking place. I really didn't plan shit, and yeah, had to replan, B plan, whatever, C plan, whatever. So right now, I should mention one thing. I'm on Bleach. I'm right now watching Bleach. I'm on episode 62. Yeah, 62 or not 62, 63. 61 was the one where he stopped Ichigo's play. 62. Okay, yeah. So I'm on 63. So yeah. Right now, I'm watching the scene where Ichigo is about to almost get cut down by, what's it called, Konpachi again, by using a wooden stick this time, or mostly a sword, and Ichigo having a wooden sword. But not the point. So, yes, this is mostly the remake and redo of What If Issei was the reincarnation of, well, Ichigo Kurosaki. So instead, I just wanted to make it into a crossover. A crossover into DxD and to, well, mostly Bleach. So yeah. So you can see, Ichigo is going to be the older cousin of Issei. He's going to be 1 year older than Issei. But yeah. Now I know some people will be like, why don't you just make them both the same age? Since in original canon, Ichigo will be 15, and when he gets into high school, he's 17. And Issei is also 17 when he gets into high school. But no, I'm just gonna make it the younger, because fuck it. Because Ichigo is much more mature than Issei, so yeah. But not the point. So let me begin this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. Mostly this episode, or mostly this series, first part series, couple of first parts will go into mostly the backstory and other stuff. But yeah, I will do that first. But before I go on, I should also mention something that Issei is going to have two Zanpakutos with two different names, and their Zanpakuto spirits. I already have a thumbnail kind of picture of it. Not really a thumbnail, mostly a kind of image to show what their Zanpakuto spirits will look like. I should also mention the Bankais are going to be 3 stages. Issei is going to have special eyes just because of a family that he's from. The hollow is going to be later on. He won't get it the same way that Ichigo would get it. So yeah. Also, his hollowification is going to be completely different from Ichigo's. But yeah. Which is the same, but it's different because it's not a white hollow. But not the point. Let me begin into this what if, and let me shut the fuck up. So yeah. Let me begin. Sorry. I know I'm rambling on. I know. Oh, before I also mention this something, mostly during this episode story, he isn't going to have his booster gear. His booster gear will be later on, but don't worry about that. I should also mention, I know I'm rambling on, and I know I'm just going to say this now. Issei has blue hair. Lightish blue kind of, well, mostly darkish bluish lightish color. Mostly the opposite color version of Ichigo's. Reason why is through genetics, but don't worry. So let me begin. So we begin into mostly a 4-year-old Issei meeting up with a younger kid with orange hair. Of course, mostly a blue hair man is right now smiling at what Issei is doing towards the orange hair boy, who is mostly his sister's son. But yeah, this is where, we go into that. This is right now the first time of Issei meeting up with Ichigo. Issei didn't know who exactly Ichigo was, but of course decided to poke him most of the time. Ichigo kind of became somewhat an older brother, even though he didn't still have siblings at the same time. He decides to take care of Issei. But yeah, Issei was always a troublesome kid, mostly ever since he was younger. So yeah. Issei and Ichigo has been playing around when, mostly they were 4 to 5. But yeah, Ichigo being 5, while Issei being, well, 4. Now, Issei's full name is Issei Hyodo, and of course, Ichigo's full name is Ichigo Kurosaki. This is where, well, they were mostly playing around, having fun, and messing around with each other. This is where, well, mostly 2 people are watching this. A man with kind of bluish hair, and of course, brownish eyes, with a female with lightish kind of orangey hair, kind of similar to brownish, but of course with brownish eyes. This is where, well, they're kind of laughing and giggling on how their children are acting. This is where, well, one of them kind of says, "So, Goro, how is your wife doing?" This is where, well, the blue hair man says, "She's doing fine. She's doing really fine. She's a little squirmy around when Issei kind of does a lot of, how should I say, devilish things, you could say." This is where, well, the lady next to him, mostly supposed to be his sister, kind of just chuckles and giggles and says, I guess it does run in the family, doesn't it? You used to do something like that also when we were younger." This is where, well, mostly the older man said, "Hey!" This is where he kind of says her name being, what's it called? This is where he said, "Hey, Masaki, don't say stuff that in front of my child or my wife because she will kill me." This is where, well, Masaki just giggles and chuckles and says, "Really, Goro? Are you sure that I shouldn't tell your wife? If I do tell this, there's a good chance your wife is going to literally, well, send you in the grave and really take care of Issei by herself." This is where, well, Goro said, Don't say that. Oh God, what happened if she finds out? Oh no, she's going to literally kill me." But then again, if you think about it, Issei-kun is kind of the similar same as you, since you were a child. Well, I mean, you have the same appearance and same look. This is where, well, Goro says, "Well, he does look more like me, mostly with the blue hair, a little bit palish skin, but he does have his mother's goldenish brown eyes, and of course, is always kind of extra." "And you call him Issei? I thought you would call him something else." That was my wife. She picked that name for first generation. I don't know." Quite interesting. And Hyodo means soldier, or means a lot of other things. Quite interesting. Well, I hope both of our children will get along. Then again, Issei-kun seems to be getting along with Ichigo, or as he likes to call him, Ichi. Yes, he does like to call, mostly Ichigo Ichi. I wonder how they will be when they're older. This is where, well, we go into a time skip. A time skip of mostly, well, we go into a time skip of 10 years later. This is where, well, we go into the first episode of Ichigo Kurosaki, mostly Bleach. Ichigo says, what the hell was that for? Tell me what you did to that vase, This is where he did kick someone out of the way, and this is where they were saying, we broke it. Exactly! He punches one in the face. Tell me, why is it on the ground? This is where, well, they says, one of us might have knocked it. Exactly! He kicks one in the face and then knocks the other and says, now apologize! This is where they say, we're sorry, and runs away. This is where, well, Ichigo kind of says, are you okay? This is where, well, the ghost bear says, I'm okay, thank you. This is where Ichigo says, nah, no problem, don't worry, I'll get you a vase and put water in it. I will do that later, okay? This is where, well, the spirit nodded and does thank Ichigo. This is where, well, Ichigo is going home. And this is where, well, he says, I wonder when would, I wonder when Ice is gonna come. He said, well, mostly from his parents telling Dad, I think he was gonna come this week or next week. Can't remember. I wonder how he's gonna act in middle school with me. I hope none of my perverted friends messes up with his innocent mind. Then again, not really many things mess with him that much when we were younger. Unless that perverted guy came back. This is where he's thinking of an old perverted man that was messing with Issei and kind of telling him a lot of stuff, inappropriate stuff, that a child should not learn. Which Ichigo kind of kicked the shit out of him and said, get away from him. This is where, well, mostly we go into a flashback like that, but yeah. But this is where, well, Ichigo kind of thinking, well, I wonder whatever that is. I should probably be going. This is where he gets to his house, and of course, where he comes in and says, "Hey, Karin," and what's it called? This is where he says, "Hey, Karin, Yayuzu, where's Dad?" This is where Dad mostly his father tries to attack him. This is where he says, "Ichigo!" This is where he tries to kick at him, and this is where Ichigo kicks at him first, and this is where his father says, "I see, you have good reflexes. Well, what about this?" He sends a punch at Ichigo. Ichigo blocks it and says, "Screw you!" Knees him right in the face. This is where, they're mostly fighting, but yeah. Of course, there was a ghost trying to mess with Ichigo until mostly Karin says, "Well, I don't really see them. I don't really care about them." This is where, mostly Yusa kind of says, "That's cold." This is where the ghost says, "Cold, cold, cold." But yeah. But we go into mostly a time skip later on. Of course, it's mostly through when Ichigo kind of got his Soul Reaper powers and other stuff. This is where, we go into a couple of next days. This is where Ichigo has kind of been dealing with spirits and also hollows, but yeah. And this is where, throughout him coming towards the middle school and of course dealing with someone named, Rukia, he has just been having a weird life entirely. He's now a substitute Soul Reaper, saving his, mostly hometown from a bunch of Pam Hollows. This is where, an incident did show up, mostly something that he forgot about entirely after these situations and events, that he completely forgot about someone. Someone showed up to the house, mostly to the the house of, the Kurosaki family, and of course is where he knocked at the door. This is where, of course, someone appears from the top and says, "Ichigo!" This is where, he noticed blue hair and, of course, goldenish brown eyes. And, of course, a person looked up saying, "Huh? Uncle Ishi?" He says, "Uncle..." This is where, he says, "Uncle Ishin?" This is where Ishin realized that he was about to kick at someone named, Ice. But this is where Ice noticed what Ishin was doing. This is where he then dodges, mostly jumps on the door, or not door, mostly the wall, using his leg to kind of jump up. He kind of does jump over Ishin, and then just axe kick him down to the ground. This is where mostly Ishin didn't notice this, and realized that Issei has kind of become much more flexible and faster than normal. This is where smashing him down to the ground. This is where Issei, he smashes to the ground. It's like, really, Ice. This is where he's knocked out. Issei said, "Uncle, are you okay?" "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Something like that." "Oh, sorry." This is where, right now, it's a dark-haired blue boy with of course, a white shirt, mostly a green t-shirt, a black kind of, coat, mostly jacket, and, of course, having grayish pants. This is where, mostly Issei is wondering if he kind of hurt his uncle way too bad. This is where two people come outside, and it's none other than, Karin and also Yayuzu. But yeah. This is where, Karin and Yayuzu kind of come outside and sees, someone with dark bluish hair. This is where they notice his goldenish eyes and kind of paler skin. This is where, he looks up and says, "Yayuzu! Karin! Hello!" This is where, Yayuzu says, "Issei!" This is where mostly Yayuzu rushes towards Issei and hugs him. And this is where Karin says, "Ew, what happened to him? I accidentally kicked him down to the ground. He was trying to kick me from the roof. So I decided to dodge and then axe kick him. I don't know if I hurt him too bad." This is where Karin says, "It's fine. He's fine. Who really cares? Let's just go inside." This is where Issei says, "Okay." This is where they kind of go inside. And of course, this is where, Yayuzu's kind of cooking up food. And this is where Issei does ask about Ichi. This is where, Yayuzu says, he should be in school right now." This is where Issei said, "Aw, I'm sad. I really wanted to see Ichi. But if he's in school, then that's quite sad." This is where, Karin says, who really cares and where he's at most of the time. This is where, Issei kind of pouts towards her and says, "But I want to see Ichi." This is where, he used to say, "Don't be mean, Karin. It's mostly your cousin. You don't need to be mean to him half the time." This is where, Karin says, "Fine." This is where, mostly, Yayuzu puts like a rice ball in front of what's it called? Ice, and of course, Ice does eat it. Thank you, Yayuzu. This is where, he eats the rice ball like it is a rice ball, like, not like a rice bowl inside it, no, rice ball. This is where he's eating and says, delicious. You make good food. This is where, well, and Issei says, thank you. This is where, well, Issei is eating it, and of course, this is where he wonders, how long would it take, well, Ichi to come to the house? This is where, well, mostly, yeah, Yusu and of course, Karin just kind of talk to him, and of course, Issei just explains and how his parents are doing, mostly his mom and his dad. Of course, his dad is still trying to get over with mostly his sister and a lot of stuff. But of course, this is where he says that he's doing fine, kinda. He's quite troublesome, and of course, mostly he says my mom usually has to put him in check by whooping his. You know what? This is where, well, Karin says, well, that's good to know. This is where, well, was it I used to say, Karin, don't say stuff like that. This is where, well, Karin says, fine, whatever. That's the way she had an English grammar, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is kind of scratching his hair and says, well, can I take a round of Kuro town? This is where, well, mostly was it Hayuso and, well, Karin nodded. You do remember how to go around this town, right? Mostly Karin asked. This is where Issei kind of nodded. It hasn't been that long since he visited here. So, of course, it's fine for him to just walk around. Issei is just walking around the town. Of course, where, well, he kind of is looking around the town and seeing how beautiful it is. Of course, something that he will always like to come to this town is because he will always find new things, old things, new things, or old things. Pretty much, he always liked this town. His old town, mostly his hometown named Kuo, well, yeah, Kuo town is a small town, but this place is also a small town, but he doesn't mind it. It's where his mostly older brother should be at. Or mostly his older cousin, but mostly he calls him Oni-san but half the time. Or just calls him Ichi. But yeah. Of course, Issei is looking around and says, this place is so interesting. There's new stuff, there's old stuff. I wonder. This is where he goes to a town and sees that it's the same. Then not goes to a town, goes to a district place, and of course he says the same. He's walking down a, what's it called, alleyway. Or, yeah, well, mostly an alleyway, and sees a cat. This is where the black cat is getting kind of bullied by some people. And this is where some of those people say, huh? It's a cat. We should just get rid of it. This is where they say, yeah. This is where they pull out a pocket knife, and this is where the cat saying meow. Right now, kind of getting scared. This is where Issei says, get away from that cat. This is where, well, Issei kicks one in the head right now, smashing it to the ground. Of course, this is where another one tries to swing at him with the knife, but this is where he jumps over him by kind of just jumping off the guy's head and of course appearing on top of this guy's, well, mostly arm. And this is where Issei kicks him right in the head. This is where knocking him out cold. This is where, well, one of them tries to attack him with a trash can. Issei right now kind of dodges it so easily. Like if his eyes are getting adapted to mostly the fight situation, Issei then appears right in front of the man. Right now putting his, well, mostly his hand, which is in a palm strike, smashing it into the man's chest, grabbing his arm, pulling him closer, and then sending a powerful right, well, not right, mostly left knee into his chin, knocking this man out. This is where, well, Issei then looks at the cat and says, hey cat, are you okay? This is where the cat meows, and of course this is where Issei is just giggling at the cat, but yeah. This is where, well, he then kind of starts walking away and saying, well then, let's go cat. This is where the cat follows him, but yeah. This is where, well, they hear this weird screeching noise, and of course Issei says, what is that noise? This is where something is rushing towards him, but before even, well, mostly the cat or the Issei could react, Issei managed to grab the cat and jumped away, but when he jumped away from the screeching noise, it seems to be some kind of white mask kind of beast. This is where Issei says, what is that? This is where, well, something like a blue light shot out of somewhere and shot the beast, right now making it be destroyed. Issei said, huh? Where did that came from? This is where, well, mostly he's looking around, and of course, where, well, the cat is right now meowing at him, kind of licking him, and this is where Issei's confused. But this is where, well, we go on top of a building. Someone right now would pushing his glasses up, saying, interesting. He got very powerful spiritual pressure. Someone else like him has very powerful spiritual pressure. I see. And the thing he has is a spirit cat. A cat that already dies. Well, he doesn't know about this, but it's interesting. Well, I should be going. This is where he disappears, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is confused, but this is where Issei gets up and of course just brings the cat along. He doesn't know what to do with it, but he just decides to bring it along. This is where, well, when he's kind of going to a store, he kind of goes inside the store just to buy some food and also some food for the cat. But when he comes back outside, he doesn't see the cat at all. He's confused where the cat went. He's like, hey, Kuro. This is where he decides to name the cat Kuro because he didn't really have another name for it. Mostly Kuro just means black. And of course, this is where, well, that's what the cat was. It was black. And this is where, well, he's looking around and right now confused and saddened that the cat is gone from him. This is where he kind of becomes very depressed and sad. This is where he says, oh no, I lost my... This is where, well, he kind of became pretty sad and depressed until someone actually appeared next to him. This is where this girl had kind of orange hair. And of course, well, this person had darkish orange hair, kind of darker than what's called his mostly brother or mostly Onisan, like Ichi. Mostly, she had orangey brown eyes, and this is where she says, hey kid, are you okay? This is where, well, Issei looks up, and this is where, well, mostly she seems to have orange hair and kind of reminds us of Ichi. And this is where, well, he kind of snibbles and says, I'm fine, I guess. I lost my cat. I don't know where he went. And this is where, well, mostly this person says, then I'll help you find it. This is where, well, Issei kind of just winds his eyes and says, really? This is where, well, she says, of course. This is where, well, Issei says, really? Okay. This is where, well, they're trying to go find the cat, and of course, they get kind of lost, and this is where Issei is looking around, and even, well, mostly this person. Issei asks for her name, and this is where she says that her name is Orihime, and this is where Issei then says that his name is Issei Hiro. This is where, well, she nodded, and of course, where, well, they look for the cat, and of course, they couldn't really find the cat. They find other cats, but it wasn't really the cat that Issei was looking for. Issei becomes pretty saddened, but of course, this is where Orihime says, don't worry, kid, I'll help you, what's it called, find him again tomorrow, but it seems to be getting really dark. This is where Issei nodded and said, oh no, I have to go see my older cousin. Thank you again, Orihime. Bye. This is where, well, he waves at Orihime, and Orihime kind of just waves at him and says, don't worry about it, kid. This is where, well, mostly Issei rushes back to the house of, well, the Kurosen, or mostly Kurosaki. Yeah, Kurosaki family. And of course, this is where, well, he's rushing, and this is where, well, he sees, well, mostly outside, someone with darkish hair, but of course being short, and of course shorter than that of the other person having orange hair and brownish eyes. This is where, well, mostly someone has right now with their phone, kind of having their phone beeping and other stuff. And this is where, well, mostly the person says, okay, let's go, Ichigo. We gotta go, there's a hollow around here. This is where, well, Ichigo says, I just wanted food. I'm hungry. This is where, well, mostly Ice really had an idea, and it was such an evilish thought. This is where, well, mostly, well, Rukia says, come on, don't be too much of a baby. Let's go. This is where Ichigo says, yeah. This is where, well, they didn't hear his footsteps. This is where, well, this is where they hear, Ichi! This is where Ichi says, huh? This is where he gets his face right now, kind of. Well, mostly not his face. Mostly he gets himself kind of tackled down fully. And of course he smashes the ground. And this is where Ichigo says, ow, my back! I swear to God, that... He sees dark blue hair, and of course, where, well, he sees golden eyes. This is where, well, Ichigo's like, Ice? This is where, well, Ice smiles at Ichi, and this is where he says, Ichi! This is where, well, the dark hair female right now looks as mostly the dark blue hair boy, and this is where, well, she's confused. This is where, well, Issei gets up, and this is where he kind of gets his hand towards Ichigo, and Ichigo does kind of grab and pull himself up. And this is where, well, Ichigo says, Issei, you're here. But I thought you were going to come next week. Well, change of plans. I kind of got lost, and then I somehow got into Tokyo. Then I got here back. So yeah. This is where, well, Ichigo says, right, you have such a terrible sense of direction. Hey, don't be mean to me. This is where, well, I said towards Ichigo. This is where, well, Ichigo says, whatever. At least I don't have a terrible sense in remembering people's name and face. This is where, well, Ichigo says, no, I don't. This is where he kind of looks away. And this is where, well, Ice kind of giggles at him, and even it was to call Rukia, because, well, she kind of does realize that Ichigo does have a terrible sense in remembering people. But yeah. But this is where, well, mostly Rukia doesn't know about this boy, but mostly from the understanding, it seems that both Ichigo and this boy seem to be really close. This is where, well, Rukia does ask about who this boy is. This is where, well, mostly Ichigo says, I forgot to mention, this is my younger cousin Ice, or mostly Issei Hiro. This is where Issei says, hello there, you must be Ichi's kind of, well, he was about to say girlfriend, until mostly was it called Ichigo covered his mouth in an instant, and this is where Ichi is, well, mostly Ice is trying to right now talk and get out of, well, Ichigo's restraint, and this is where Ichigo says, ignore him, he might be just crazy. And Rukia kind of giggles at their sight. This is where Issei is trying to get out and saying, right now trying to get out of mostly Ichigo's grasp, and this is where, well, Ichigo says, shut up, little brat. She's not my, you know what? She's my friend. This is where Issei nodded. Friend, Ichigo said it in quotation marks. Issei nodded. Okay. This is where, well, we'll see. He was let go until Issei said, okay, so you guys are friends. This is where Rukia nodded. And this is where Ichigo says, so understand? Yes. Don't tell, what's it called, dad or sister. They already know about this. We're only friends. But why was you about to, like, go inside the house? This is where, well, homework. Okay. Well, I'll be going inside. This is where, well, Issei kind of walks in until Ichigo and Rukia decides to disappear. Of course, this is where, well, we go into a couple of days later. Mostly, it's what's it called, Issei kind of enrolling into the school because he gets a couple of mostly months from going from his old Kuo middle school to go into this school that's mostly in his cousin's mostly town. But yeah, this is where, well, he is right now in school, and of course just kind of, well, dealing with some stuff. This is where, well, he's kind of meeting up with what's it called, not Issei, mostly Ichigo's friends, who is, one is named Orihime, well, mostly not really friends with Orihime just yet, but yeah, Orihime, what was her name again? This is where, well, mostly he meets Tatsuki and the other girls, and of course, this is where, well, he meets a red-haired girl that's kind of perverted, which he tries to ignore, but yeah, this is where, well, he kind of meets up with Chad and what's called also the two other guys. I forgot their name. Mostly perverted one, perverted two. I don't remember. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly both of the two perverts try to kind of get along with Issei, but this is where Ichigo pushes him away and says, get away from him. This is where, well, mostly Ichigo is really not liking none of his pervert friends from actually kind of manipulating Issei's mind, which is kind of innocent still. Yeah, Issei's mind has still been really innocent, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is kind of giggling at mostly how his cousin really acts. Mostly his cousin does act kind of very stubborn, and of course showing very a attitude that's quite different from home. But yeah, this is where, well, he's always having this kind of angry look most of the time, which he's confused how Ichigo even works like that. But yeah, this is where, well, Ichigo is also, well, he didn't really want to talk about Rukia, and this is where, well, mostly Rukia does manage to step on mostly Ichigo's feet and says, well, I need to talk to your cousin, what's it called, Issei. I'm going to be talking to Ichigo. This is where, well, Issei said, okay. This is where, well, he looks at the kind of situation at both of them and kind of calculates and says, sure. This is where, well, I'll talk to Chad. This is where, well, I want to know how he became so big. I want to become big. This is where, well, Ichigo just chuckles at his antics, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei does talk to mostly Chad, but yeah. Now, of course, this is where, well, a lot of things did happen, but mostly Issei didn't really see Ichigo and his, well, mostly substitute Soul Reaper. Actually, no, one time he actually did see it. It was mostly at an event with, what's it called? Everyone kind of seeing Don Creed and going, nah, This is where, well, Issei kind of sneaked in and kind of saw the whole situation. And of course, where, well, he was seeing what's it called, Ichigo fight this hollow thing. Now, of course, where Issei wanted to get into the situation, but didn't know if he should or not, to help his kind of older cousin. But he saw his older cousin have a sword and fighting against a creature. Now, of course, Issei knows better than to get into someone that has a huge sword, which he then thinks about it, saying, that's a really big sword. It's pretty much the worst weapon to have in different battles. He should have had a smaller weapon than that. Then again, Big Bro isn't, well, mostly Big Oni-san isn't that smart. Doesn't work. Well, he kind of sees a whole battle between Concrete and, of course, the Hollow and, of course, Ichigo fighting. But yeah, this is where Concrete goes, But yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, we go into the next day, and that being school. And, of course, this is where, well, most of the principal has everyone, like an original canon, in the situation. Mostly Orihime and Tatsuki. And, of course, where they have Rukia there, Chad, and mostly the other two guys. Mostly I forgot their name. But, of course, Ichigo there, and even Issei. Issei is scared because he never did get in trouble. And, of course, this is where the gym teacher's right now saying, you guys would be getting big in trouble. Do you not see how the situation has acted? You guys. This is where, well, mostly Tatsuki and also Orihime managed to just leave, but yeah, because they didn't really have any situation with this. And this is where Rukia started crying and saying that this is not what she wanted to do and other stuff. And this is where, well, mostly she was tearing up and other stuff. And this is where, well, mostly the gym teacher was saying, oh, I'm sorry. This is where, well, he then turns around and says, hey! This is where mostly Chad and the others are actually jumping out. Now, of course, Ichigo did try to grab Issei, which Issei kind of managed to also jump out. He was already gone. He was actually the first one gone, which Ichigo noticed. This is where, well, Issei, well, mostly, what's it called? Chad was actually doing the whole jumping out the window. Not first, because he noticed Issei was already gone. This is where, well, Ichigo wondered where the hell Issei went, but noticed that he was already in front and running like hell. This is where, well, this is where the gym teacher say, hey, get back here, brats! This is where, well, mostly when he turns around to see Rukia is gone already. This is where, well, the principal say, if you manage to catch him, can you get an autograph from Ichigo? This is where, well, the gym teacher says, what the hell is wrong with all of you? This is where, well, we go into, well, Issei kind of getting home, but yeah, this is where Issei is giggling at how Ichigo, well, kind of managed somehow getting each or everyone almost in trouble. This is where Ichigo says, yeah, you little brat. This is where, well, Issei is just giggling, but yeah. No, this is where, oh, mostly that is happening. But of course, the where, well, Rukia managed to grab Ichigo and of course disappear. And this is where, well, Issei is very, well, mostly still very confused with mostly the relationship between Ichigo and, well, mostly Rukia, but yeah. That's where Issei kind of doesn't know what happened, but of course he doesn't care. He goes back home thinking they might be making out or something, which he doesn't really want to think of that stuff. Bleh. He thinks it's kind of still meh. He doesn't care. This is where, well, Issei gets back home and of course talks to, well, mostly Ichigo's kind of family, which is his kind of uncles and, well, uncle and, well, of course cousins. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Issei is saying how mostly Issei is with a girl, and of course, well, mostly Isshin kind of hurts about this and says, so my son is finally with a girl. I will now teach him what not to do with a girl. This is where, well, Issei said, huh? What do you mean not to do with a girl? This is where, well, mostly Isshin says, I see. Your parents haven't taught you anything. Well, then I will teach you. This is where Karin says, no need for that. If you teach him anything dumb, you know what's it called? Mostly Mika's going to do to you, right? This is where, well, what's it called? Isshin thinks about it and says, oh. This is where he realized that if he dares even teaches Issei anything pervert or any of that stuff, Mika is going to kill him. Really, going to murder him into two. But yeah, this is where, well, he says, never mind, I shouldn't be teaching you this. Maybe your dad can do that. He looks away and walks away. This is where, well, Issei said, interesting. Now, I should mention where Issei has been sleeping. Issei has been sleeping in a spare room that they have, and of course, where, well, he's been kind of just always taking a nap and other stuff. But yeah. Now, of course, he has always improved in his studies and other stuff. But yeah. Because he isn't that, well, he isn't that smart or dumb against, well, Ichigo. But he's pretty good. This is where, well, Ichigo and, of course, Rukia kind of got to a situation where they didn't know where the hollow was at. And, of course, they managed to send a fat soul into the Soul Society. But, yeah, this is where they're getting back home. Now, of course, where, well, the next day happened. And, of course, where, well, Chad, Ichigo, and, well, what's it called? So, Kayuya and also Mizurio. So, of course, it's mostly the brown hair boy is named Kaguya or whatever. And, of course, Mizurio is, what's it called, the black hair kid. Well, mostly the black hair kid. But, yeah, that's where, well, Kaguya is the brown hair. Kind of says, I see, so all of us have managed to get the top 50. Who really cares? Who let the girls go first and get top scores? This is where, well, mostly Kaguya is kind of smiling. And this is where, well, Mizurio says, yeah. This is where, well, Ichigo says, think again. He got 23 or something. This is where Kaguya says, what the hell, Ichigo? You bastard! And this is where, well, mostly Chad then points up higher. And this is where everyone says, he's actually smart. This is where, well, Issei is looking around. And this is where Issei is in his, what's it called? So, what was Ichigo? What was in his grade? I forgot which Ichigo grade was he. Wait. This is where, well, mostly what's it called? Ichigo was in older grades than what's it called, Issei. And Issei is looking at his own score saying, where would I be at? That's where, well, he's looking at test grade scores and other things. Of course, this is where Ichigo did find who was the top, well, mostly 3 or first or whatever. And of course, where, well, mostly Orihime says, oh, don't you know him? He's in our grade. This is where Ichigo's trying to think. He's like, who? He's trying to think. But this is where he goes up to Issei and says, so Issei, where are you at? This is where he says, I'm at first. This is where, well, Ichigo's going, Orihime says, wow, so amazing. Good job, Issei-kun. Issei says, I didn't think I was gonna get first. This is where, well, Ichigo says, you little brat, how much more smarter are you from me? This is where, well, Issei said, well, maybe if I'm not that dumb and I can probably remember that person's face. You know, the one that you can't figure it out. This is where, well, he looks at the name. He then says, oh, it's Glasses Guy. I met him before also. This is where I usually kind of met him throughout the hallway. But yeah, I know who he is. This is where, well, Ichigo's trying to put the name and says, his name is, what's it called? Well, the name he's looking at his name, well, mostly his name is Yuryu, and this is where he says, yeah, I know who Yuryu is. It's that guy with glasses and kind of bluish hair. Yeah, I've seen him before. This is where, well, mostly Orihime say, see? This is where, well, Ichigo say, god damn it. This is where, well, mostly, Rukia and what's it called? Ichigo did kind of meet up with him, or mostly Ichigo kind of saw him and met up, and this is where, well, mostly they met up at the stairs, Ichigo and Uryu, and of course, this is where, well, Uryu says that his name is Quincy and he hates all Soul Reapers. This is where, well, mostly he did that whole competition of the, what's it called? Hollows, and of course, Ichigo was slaughtering Hollows left and right, with Uryu doing the exact same thing. But of course, the Hollows did attack, what's it called, Orihime and Chad, and of course, there were also other people. But of course, well, Issei did kind of manage to protect half the school. Now, how did Issei manage to protect the school? Well, it was a little kind of technique that his parents did taught him. Mostly his father. His father did kind of told him about how a little bit of spirits and other things are real. So of course, well, he did taught him a little bit and some stuff. This is where, well, Issei had this kind of bluish kind of like, mostly, not really a bluish something, no. He kind of had this like spear that he mostly grabbed and of course used it against the Hollows. Now of course, he just stabbed them into the mask, destroying the mask in an instant. Now of course, this is where Issei, he was able to defeat some of the Hollows, but not many. But luckily, some people managed to stop them, or managed to defeat them. Which Issei passes out because he was exhausted. This is where, mostly someone kind of looked over the kid and says, interesting, dark blue hair. Quite interesting species. Well, I don't know how many people have blue hair in this world, especially if they're humans. But it's quite interesting. This is where he's looking at the kid. Mostly he has kind of palish skin, goldenish hair, and of course brownish eyes. This is where his name is Uryu, but yeah. This is where, well, also known as mostly Cloth Hat or something, but yeah. This is where he says, quite interesting. Kind of reminds me of Ichigo a little bit. Or Ichi or whatever. Whatever. This is where, well, he kind of just walks away, and of course, the where, well, with the whole hollow problem being able to be dealt by Ichigo and of course Uryu, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly that whole situation happened. Of course, when the Storyverse managed to come and try to take Rukia back, this is where, well, that stuff still happened, and of course Ichigo was easily defeated, but this is where Cloth and Hat managed to save him, and of course did tell him, or mostly train him in, well, yeah, 10 days, and of course where, well, Yoriichi did manage to train also Orihime, Uryu, well not Uryu, Uryu trained by himself, and Chad trained with Orihime, with Yoriichi, but yeah. But of course I should also mention about Kon. Now Kon was actually always kind of, well, able to walk and move, and of course Issei was always the one to actually notice this. Of course he never did tell, well, Yazu or even Karin about this because he doesn't know if that would freak them out. But usually when he kind of talks to Kon is always trying to act like a stuffed animal. This is where Issei noticed that he's always trying to act. Issei said, you know, your name was Kon, wasn't it? I don't know why Ichi has a stuffed, well, kind of lion like you around here. Then again, maybe you will get along with, what's it called, Mr. Penguin. Or maybe Panda. This is where, well, Kon is right now scared of Issei, because Issei is actually trying to interrogate to actually make him move. Yes, Issei has noticed this. But Issei didn't really care. Of course, he decided that, well, mostly Ichi isn't going to spend time with him and his family to kind of, in summer and other stuff. He's saddened, but yeah. But he doesn't really bother him with that stuff. This is where, well, Kon, he actually accidentally moved one time, and this is where Issei said, aha, so you do move. This is where, well, Kon is like scared and says, please, don't tell Ichi or don't tell Ichigo or any of this to Rukia. If they do, they would kill me. This is where, well, Issei said, so do you know where my brother would be going? He might be telling you stuff in like a diary. I don't know how you can move, but it's quite interesting. This is where, well, mostly Kon is kind of switch up and say, well, about that, Ichigo is going to the Soul Society. Now, of course, it was a couple days after, well, mostly Ichigo went to the Soul Society, and of course, how they managed to get into the Rukan District, and, well, mostly not Rukan District, mostly into the Soul, kind of, the Soul Society, into that, the actual place, but yeah, inside it, not the barrier outside of it, but yeah. That's where Issei said, so where would they be at? Well, they went to the Soul Society. The Soul what? The Soul Society. If you want to learn more, you can talk to Cloth and Hat. Well, mostly, yeah, Cloth and Hat. Cloth and Hat? A guy with kind of green and white hair, kind of, well, mostly not green and white hair, mostly green and white kind of hat. He always seems to have a cane and always seems to be talking in towards Ichi and also Rukia. You mean the dark-haired girl that's always with Ichigo? That mostly always thought that they've been dating? Yeah. This is where, well, Issei said, I see. Why would he be in this Soul Society thing? He's trying to save Rukia from these evil people that are trying to execute her. Issei kind of narrows his eyes and says, what? This is where, well, Kon is saying, yeah, of course. This is where, why would I ever lie to you? Issei says, this is where he grabs the mostly lion and says, where would they be at? The Soul Society, I don't know how to get there. I just know that they were talking to the Cloth and Hat. I don't really know about much about him. I see. Where would this Cloth and Hat be? I will show you. This is where, well, Issei had a different look to his eye. Instead of having goldenish eyes, he had a determination look. Because he doesn't want his older kind of cousin to die or anything. And if he can help it, he will kind of save him. This is where, well, mostly Issei is also, I should mention one thing. When he was getting serious, it's mostly something around him started appearing, like some kind of spiritual pressure, which kind of notifies someone really fast. This is where someone was kind of looking out the window right now when he was kind of thinking about something. This is where he was like, that spiritual pressure, powerful. What the? This is where, well, he then noticed it was gone, and of course, where, well, he says, whatever, it might have been nothing. This is where, well, we go into Ichigo kind of dealing with some of the kind of, well, running away from some of the, like, squad members from different squads in the Soul Society, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly also ugly guys there, but yeah. This is where Issei gets towards mostly Cloth and Hat, and of course, this is where he knocks at the door. He sees a red-haired, well, kid, and of course, a black-haired girl. But of course he ignores them. And of course someone comes outside, and of course it's like this older, like muscular toned man with kind of brownish hair and like black hair. But yeah, this is where, well, he had glasses, says, yes, what do you need in our lovely shop? I'm here to talk to Cloth and Hat, or mostly a guy with kind of green outfits, kind of black coats, has a cane, has a weird looking hat. This is where someone says, how is this hat weird? This is where, well, the older man says, are you sick, my sir? No, I'm not sick. I'm just shocked that some kid decided to disrespect my hat. This is where, well, Conan is actually behind, well, mostly on top of Issei's shoulder and says, that's him! This is where, well, Conan points at mostly the mostly Cloth and Hat. And this is where, well, Cloth and Hat says, oh, you're the artificial soul. And you're right now on the stuff line. Interesting. Well, why did you brought this kid along? This is where Issei said, where's Ichi? Ichi? Who exactly is Ichi? Ichigo. Ichigo Kurosaki. Where's Ichigo Kurosaki? He should be somewhere in summer break. Don't lie to me. Cone here told me that he was somewhere in the Soul Society, or whatever the hell that is. This is where, well, Uryu kind of looks at, well, Cone with narrow eyes because he wasn't expecting Cone to really just snitch on the whole Soul Society towards a kid who doesn't even know anything about the Soul Society, hasn't been experienced with the Soul Society except being dealt with hollows, and he was able to kill them pretty easily, which Hat and Cloth kind of noticed. This is where, well, Hat and Cloth says, don't know what you're talking about. I really don't know. Well, if you don't mind, you should probably get rid of that crazy talking lying stuff. This is where Issei says, don't lie to me. This is where Issei's eyes became much more serious, and of course this is where spiritual reality started exploding from him. This is where, well, Clive and Haas noticed this and says, interesting, you have so much spiritual, well, reality inside your body, and it's releasing out of your body every time you get angry. Fine, how about this? I'll help you unlock something powerful inside your body. Maybe it's some kind of whatever. It might be something similar to Chad or even Orihime. Or maybe even similar to that of the Quincy. Or, well, this is where Uryu kind of asks Issei, and what is the relationship between him and Ichigo? This is where Issei says he's my older cousin, or mostly Onisan. This is where, well, Uryu says, I see. Well, then come with me. This is where, well, Issei said, I don't really want to come with you if you're going to take me to your creepy basement. No. Well, don't worry. The basement isn't creepy. It's pretty bright, but don't worry about it, kid. This is where Issei said, okay. This is where he's holding Cone pretty tight. This is where Cone said, don't squish me. This is where, well, mostly Uryu kind of brought him towards the underneath ground. And this is where Issei said, where is this place? So, kid, have you ever, do you know much about spirits and hollows and soul reapers? No, not at all. Why? This is where, well, good to know. This is where he pushes, well, Issei out of his body, and he says, what the, what is happening? This is where, well, Uryu says, this is going to be the first time for you to ever kind of go into either Soul Reaper or Hollow. So, this is how it's going to work. This is where Uryu did the exact same thing for, you know how Ichigo, when his soul chain? Yeah, he basically did the exact same thing, but for Issei. Issei said, what? I thought this chain was supposed to be serious. This is where, well, he looks at Uryu with angry eyes. This is where, well, Uryu says, don't worry, kid. You will be fine. We will just trap you inside of a giant hole, and this is other stuff. So don't worry. This is where Issei just kind of gets down to the hole and says, you mother! This is where, well, Issei is now in the hole. Of course, this is where the Tone Man appears right now, putting him into a steel barrier. And this is where Uryu says, climb up the wall. This is where, well, Issei growls at him. This is where Issei says, damn it. How do I climb? Have my arms closed? Well, I have my arms right now on the back. I can't really climb with my, Let's see. This is where, well, Issei says, this is gonna hurt my body more than ever. This is where Issei stomps his feet into the, mostly into the wall. Of course, managing to stuck it into it. This is where Uryu says, that's the most interesting way to do it. Issei then stomps his other feet into the ground. And this is where, well, Issei is saying, ugh. He then gets his other leg unstuck, and this is where he stomps again. This is where Uryu says, okay, this is what not what I was actually expecting. This is where, well, mostly the other kids are going to be like, what the hell? This kid is even crazier than that of Carrot Top. What to call this kid? Blue Hair Top? No. This is Blueberry. This is where, well, Issei says, don't call me Blueberry, you brat. This is where Issei is right now getting angry at the red hair brat. This is where, well, Issei said, fine. If you can call me Blueberry, then I'll call you a fucking, what's it called? Watermelon head. This is where, well, the red hair kid says, watermelons are green. Okay, Starberry head. This is where the red-haired kid says, don't call me Starberry. Screw you, you brat. This is where they're getting angry at each other. This is where, well, Uryu is still very impressed on how Issei's managed to climb up. Issei says, damn it. This is where, well, Uryu sighs, thinking the kid won't be able to do something like this. It's crazy. The determination is also crazy, but yeah. He then looks at the red-haired kid saying, throw some, like, liquid of, well, oil down there, making sure that he slips. This is where, well, the kid says, are you sure? This is where, well, Ryu says yes. This is where he throws oil, and of course it hits Issei, and Issei was saying, what is this? He slips, and this is where he falls back down. Issei was getting more angry and annoyed. This is where, well, his eyes were changing in an instant. This is where something was happening. The chain was actually disappearing much more faster. This is where Uryu notices, and this is where mostly the guy with tongue muscle started kind of sealing up mostly Issei, because mostly the restrictions are actually breaking off of him. This is where other restrictions are also breaking off of him. This is where, well, he says, that's it, you must die. This is where something appears from the sky trying to also crush Issei. This is where Uryu thinks it might be the similar same between what's it called, Ichigo, when Ichigo had the hollow mask or whatever, and he was a Soul Reaper, but something actually much more brighter exploded around Issei. The hole itself was actually exploded in an instant. The two kind of pillars literally launched out of the hole, smashing on top of the roof, and mostly the ceiling. And this is where, well, Issei appears right out of the hole. This is where, well, both what's it called, the kid and the other girl kind of gets ready, having their weapons up. Uryu also gets ready, because this is where he feels such powerful Ryotsu coming off from this person. Could he be a hollow, or could he be a Soul Reaper? That's mostly the question, because he doesn't understand. This Ryotsu is so powerful indeed. It's quite dense also. This is where, well, he has never met or felt this quite dense Ryotsu. Actually, he never felt such also powerful Ryotsu ever in his life. This is where, well, mostly when something happens, the smoke manages to dissipate. There's no hollow mask this time on the person. This time it's not Ichigo's kind of hollow mask or anything. But instead, this is where, well, he has palish, well, not palish white skin, mostly he has tan skin, kind of palish a little bit. But this is where, when he opened his eyes, he has what they call, well, this is where, well, he has what they call, mostly tannish palish skin. And this is where, well, when he opened his eyes, something was shocking to see inside Issei's eyes. Both Uryu, even the two children, were in their eyes. What they saw was actually his eyes being this color right here. This one right here. Having a golden star in the middle of his eye. And of course, this is where, well, it had like blue and silver and darkish blue and bluish color and black. And this is where Issei said, he breathes out and in, and this is where, well, he then looks at Uryu, and this is where Uryu says, ah, quite interesting. He then noticed what's it called, Issei's swords. He has them in scaverns. The two swords are in scaverns. But of course, this is where he noticed the blades themselves. They're not normal Zanpakutos, but one is red and has like a black symbol, while the other one has blue and has like white symbols. This is where he has him next to him. Now, of course, where Issei looks at what's it called, Uryu, and, well, mostly Uryu says, okay. That's also some very powerful Ryotsu. When he opened his eyes, they felt so powerful. I felt it, but, oh my god. This kid is a monster. Such a powerful monster indeed. I have never met such powerful being. This is where, well, Issei said, he then kind of shook his head and said, what happened? This is where Issei still has his eyes being into the golden star. And this is where, Issei looking around and realized that his clothes changed also entirely. He has now a kind of black kind of, black kind of, what was it called? What are they called again? This is where, he has a Shion show, but of course it's all black. There's not even a tint of white a little bit in it. Well, it's black, but it has a tint of, kind of dark bluish color. But yeah. This is where, Issei looks at Cloth Huts, and this is where, mostly Cloth Huts, Cloth and Hat. And this is where he says, what happened to me? Why do I feel much stranger, much more powerful? This is where, the red-haired kid says, Blueberry, you're alive! And this time he didn't become a hollow. He says it, hollow? What? Huh? Don't worry, kid. Don't worry about, mostly, what's it called? The hollow part. That's just some kind of thing. Don't worry about him. This is where, mostly Uryu says, you're quite powerful. Well, it's time to bring out your sword. Let's see who's stronger. This is where, Uryu does, mostly Uryu managed to use his sword. And of course, it's right now into his Zanpakuto. Mostly into his Shinkai state. But yeah, this is where, Issei said, I see. So I'll fight you, shouldn't I? Yes, of course. Fight me. Show me what you have. Issei nodded, and this is where Issei pulls out both of his sword. It was unsheathed, and this is where spiritual Ryotsu. When the guy managed to get back up on top, of course, he was smoking all of it. His clothes was also ripping instantly. And of course, where they say, are you okay? He seems to be really hurt. Yeah, this is where, when he's unsheathing his swords, this is where, such a powerful, dense Ryotsu smashes upon everyone. Even Uryu, he never expected the swords to be this powerful. Issei, when he was unsheathing them, he kind of wasn't expected by his Ryotsu, but of course when Issei actually unsheathed both of them, he kind of then says, I see. So that's what your names are. This is where Issei said it quietly, but Uryu managed to hear it and says, what? Does he already know about their names? He said, then I will say it. This is where, he says twin slash. This is where he has both of them into an X motion. This is where, Uryu says, damn it. This is where he says, Benihama, breathe. This is where he makes his shield right now to block the attack from, mostly Issei. And Issei says, twin star slash. This is where he swings both of the swords down, and a bright blue and red light right now rushes straight towards Uryu. Uryu widened his eyes. He had to dodge. No, he had to make something powerful. This is where he goes through mostly commandments and says, mostly he says, Haru, number. Mostly he's a giant barrier that's actually a powerful crystal barrier that he makes right in front of him. And this is where, we then go into mostly the smoke disappearing. This is where, we go into Uryu. Uryu is kind of hurt a little bit. He coughed a little bit of blood because two small X's appear right into his middle of his chest. Just a small X. This is where we go into the barrier. His own barrier of his own, what's it called? Sword was not enough to block, most of the attack. Neither was the Haru. This is where, the Haru was actually cracked from each of the edges. But of course, this is where in the middle itself, even though it was the most powerful kind of defense in the middle, it was cracked. It was actually broken in. This is where Uryu, he coughed up a little bit of blood. He wasn't expecting such a powerful slash. We go into Issei. Issei puts back both of his swords into his sheath, and this is where he passes out in an instant. This is where Issei was unable to control the power. This is where, everyone wiped their eyes, seeing how powerful Issei is when he's already passed out. This is where, most of the spiritual pressure managed to go back down, but back to the same level when he didn't have his eyes open or when he unsheathed the swords. This is where, Uryu won his eyes. He wasn't expecting Issei to be much more powerful than Ichigo himself. Actually, he seems to be quite talented in this. But there's something wrong with both of his swords. It's like if it's already in a final state. This is where, Issei, he didn't understand, but he kind of fell into unconscious. Two spirits actually appear next to him, kind of hugging him, making sure that he's not hurt or any of it. This is where Actually, when he fell asleep and when Uryu was about to go touch him, a kind of shield appeared, kind of making sure that he wasn't touched by Uryu. Uryu wanted his eyes. It's like if the swords actually are alive and making sure to stop any attack or any harm appearing in front of Issei. This is where he's surprised. I see. So I'm gonna have to end this off because I didn't realize that I need to charge my phone. But yeah, bye.